Imagine a company that looks like a fortress of stability from the outside, but underneath, we found a hole in its pocket the size of a volcanic crater. Welcome to HDIN Research. I'm your lead analyst, and today we are stripping away the $100 billion facade of the industrial automation world. Honeywell, Emerson, Rockwell, names you think are safe. But 2026 is the year the music stops for the old-school hardware giants. We're decoding the Great Reset, where the winners aren't who you think they are. $100 billion. That is enough money to buy every single person in New York City a brand new Tesla and still have change for lunch. But here is the catch. It's not a rising tide lifting all boats. It's a fragmented war zone. Some companies are growing like weeds, while others are shrinking faster than a cheap sweater in a hot dryer. We're seeing a massive efficiency gap, where the old-school conglomerates are struggling just to keep the lights on. Here is the dirty little secret management won't tell you in their earnings calls. Organic growth, the real bread and butter of a business, is on life support. Look at that inventory, $2.4 billion. That's not just stock. That's piles of unsold metal sitting in warehouses gathering dust while the AI hype train leaves the station. Their book-to-bill ratio is at 0.8x. In plain English, for every $10 of stuff they ship, they are only getting $8 in new orders. The pantry is getting empty, folks. Let's talk about who's actually making bank. We call this the margin paradox. You'd expect the tech-heavy AI giants to lead, right? Wrong. Look at the top. Powell Industries is crushing it with nearly 25% margins. They make electrical boxes. Meanwhile, Rockwell, the high-tech darling of American automation, is lagging at 16%. It turns out, in 2026, the world values the pipes and wires of the energy transition more than the fancy software on top of them. Honeywell is undergoing a massive midlife crisis. They are basically divorcing their own conglomerate structure because the market thinks they are, too fat and slow. They're splitting into three pieces. They are using their jet engine business, which is booming, to hide the fact that their industrial automation sales are freezing over. It's a high-stakes gamble. Can they trim the fat before the market devalues them entirely? Emerson is trying to buy a new pair of software lungs. They've bet everything on Aspen Tech. But here's the problem. If software doesn't reach 25% of their mix soon, investors will treat them like a regular old valve company. Plus, the NI integration is expensive. They're burning through the grain in the pantry, their cash flow, just to stay in the tech race. Rockwell is the classic inventory trap. During the pandemic, everyone panicked and ordered too many parts. Now the warehouses are overflowing, and nobody is buying new logic controllers. It doesn't matter how smart your factory of the future is if you have a hole in your pocket the size of a warehouse glut. This is the transition tax in full effect. Meet the dark horse, Powell Industries. While everyone was chasing the AI software dream, Powell was busy building the actual infrastructure that powers data centers. Their revenue grew by 45% while the geniuses were struggling. They are the picks and shovels of the AI revolution. If you want to know where the real money is, follow the electricity. Woodward has a moat filled with jet fuel. They control the fuel systems on the engines that power almost every plane you fly. But the real genius? It's the aftermarket. Once that part is on a plane, the airline has to buy the replacement from Woodward for the next 20 years. That's the ultimate grain in the pantry. It's the high-margin floor that keeps them safe, while others are crashing. Where did the profit go? This waterfall chart shows the leak. We gained some ground on pricing, sure, but look at that massive 150-point drop for R&D pivot costs. These giants are burning billions of dollars just to rewrite their old software for the cloud. It's like trying to rebuild an airplane while you're flying it. It's expensive, it's messy, and it's eating your dividends. Our radar map shows a new hierarchy. Emerson is winning on software, and Honeywell is the king of reliability. But look at the velocity axis. Powell is moving faster than everyone else because they aren't bogged down by legacy bloat. In 2026, agility is worth more than a century of history. Size versus speed. Look at Honeywell. It's a massive bubble, but it's sitting low on the growth axis. Now look at Powell. It's small, but it's at the top of the chart. The giants are trapped in a conglomerate discount, while the nimble niche players are soaring. Being big is officially a liability in this reset. The market is ruthlessly devaluing, hardware. If you sell a box, you get a 14x multiple. If you sell a subscription to that box, you get 25x. It's a 30% discount just for being old school. CEOs are desperately rebranding their companies as software-defined just to stop the bleeding, but investors are starting to see through the buzzwords. Who is next on the chopping block? We're entering an M&A supercycle. The giants are going to use their remaining cash to swallow tiny AI startups just to stay relevant. We're also seeing infrastructure roll-ups, where companies buy up electricity specialists. It's a desperate hunt for the pipes and wires of the future. Global supply chains have a new resiliency tax. Moving factories from China to Mexico or standardizing on neutral hardware is adding 15% to costs. It's expensive, it's annoying, but in 2026, if you aren't safe, you aren't profitable. Geopolitical stability is now a line item on the balance sheet. If I were a CEO today, I'd make 3 moves. 1. Kill the dead weight. Spin off those hardware divisions. 2. Stop selling automation and start selling energy. That's where the money is. 3. Stop making AI commercials and start using AI to fire the consultants and audit your office costs. Cut the fat to fund the future. The reset is just beginning. We have a full list of M&A targets and the 2027 forecasts ready for our partners. To access the full diagnostic, head to HDINResearch.com or email our team at sales@HDINResearch.com. I'm your lead analyst from HDIN, and we'll see you in the next sector reset.